This last one goes out to Farah Mawani, who experienced extreme Islamophobia at the Roots Canada Centre in October of last year. Farah Mawani, who I really don't care if I'm pronouncing that right, and according to Global National, has a large Twitter following. Well, maybe for Canada. Farah detailed her horrific experience that was apparently too traumatic to even share with her niece, and criticized Roots Canada for not making a safe space for her. To which Roots Canada immediately apologized. And if you know anything about social justice warriors, that's something you never do, because nothing you do will ever be good enough for them. Their demands will ever increase to the absurdly insane, like Roots Canada should now be lobbying against the Conservative government, because reasons. Well, let's see in detail what this horrific Islamophobic racist of a misogynist actually had to say. I mean, I have to imagine that the hate speech meter is going to probably explode. Farah N. Mawani was at the Eaton Centre browsing in Roots Canada store when she says she overheard a man ranting about Muslims to one of the salespeople. I said to him, "I'm Muslim, just so you know, and you're talking stereotypes. None of those things you're saying are true about me." Well, aren't you misentitled? Then the man, who she said was roughly 60 years old, covered his face with his hand to indicate a niqab, while making an action as if he was shooting a machine gun. I'm just trying to picture this old guy holding up his hand like a machine gun in the middle of a store making firing noises. This is something that should be on Comedy Central. I honestly don't have enough alcohol in me for this at the moment, but let's continue anyway. "I didn't feel safe being there," she stated. Well, why not? Were you afraid his hand was actually going to turn into a machine gun and fire actual bullets? Did he threaten you in any way? Because it doesn't state that anywhere. He's a 60-year-old man, and you don't exactly have a light frame. You probably would have been able to take him. Mawani said she felt so uncomfortable she left the store. The man continued yelling. Well, triggered. But seriously, what's the problem then? It's not like he followed you out and stalked you. The 60-year-old buffoon wasn't even the instigator. You were. You approached him. He wasn't even paying attention to you until then. Listen, love, if you're going to interrupt someone's conversation and inject your personal opinion, don't be surprised when they throw it back in your face. And of course, this was all Stephen Harper's fault, even though he never knew this man, wasn't in the area, or even shops at Roots. Or at least I've never seen him in Roots clothing. While we're blaming Stephen Harper for something he had no control over, let's try and ride this lunacy to creating a Canada Farah Mawani wants, because fuck it, why not? Social justice in its arrogance has become so used to compliancy, it doesn't even try to hide its manipulation anymore. I'd like to point out that this happened right before the Paris attacks, so maybe this man wasn't actually trying to be offensive. He was actually a fortune teller or prophet. Maybe he's the second coming of Muhammad and was just giving her a glimpse of the future. To wrap things up, I was going to mention how Islamophobia is basically bullshit, and that Muslims will use anything and everything, even the most vanilla of criticisms, to cry Islamophobia. But I think Christopher Hitchens said it best.